Read the text right, Dan.
Okay. David, Saturday, May 27th, 12:29 p.m. I want a chicken Caesar wrap. Allison, I'm sure you can go get one anywhere. David, no, for my birthday recipe. Allison, oh, no, absolutely not. David, oh, yes. Allison, a wrap is not in my repertoire. David, it's my birthday. Just from a video perspective and also my reputation, I don't think it's a good idea. From a video perspective, it would crush. I would do a chicken Caesar salad, or a sandwich, I guess. Like chicken parm sandwich, but with Caesar. Let's do chicken Caesar salad and we'll wrap it for me. You can wrap it. Yeah. Okay, sure. Like we did spicy chicken sandwich. Right. Salute emoji. Berries this week?
We did not go to Barry's. Spoiler, we did not go to Barry's this week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Home Movies. Today is our favorite annual tradition. It's David's birthday. Yay! TLDR, David's birthday request is a chicken Caesar wrap.
Yes.
And I was sort of like, that's not really my vibe. I don't do wraps, but I do love Caesar salad. And I published a recipe, I think for like the first time last year, just because I'm like, oh, everybody has one, and I didn't really feel like the need to enter the chat, as it were. But I was like, oh, I actually would do a Caesar salad video.
She actually would, for my birthday. She actually would.
And then what we're going to do...
Thank you so much, Alison, for actually doing it.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to make some chicken on the side, and then we're going to wrap it.
Here's what I'm going to say. People at home watching this video, like on the video, comment the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, make this succeed to prove her wrong, because she was
thirsty.
Yeah, I like to win. I don't know what to tell you.
This isn't a contest.
Yes, it is. You were like, it'll do fine. I was like, no, this is going to kill.
No, I don't think it's going to kill. I don't think it's going to do better than
people, we need you to help us make it kill.
Just so thirsty.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to start by just making basically the dressing for the Caesar, which you can make ahead of time. You can make it days in advance if you want. If you order a Caesar salad at 10 different restaurants, you're gonna get like 10 different styles of dressing. Some are really creamy and thick. Some appear to be more like ranch in texture, ? And some tend to be like herby. Like they're all kind of different. You can sort of adjust your Caesar salad to suit your taste preferences. I call for 6 anchovies, use 4, use 8. I don't care. I call for 2 cloves of garlic. Use 1, use 3. You get the idea. I like to add capers occasionally in addition to the anchovies, although I will say capers make an excellent substitute in this particular salad for anchovies. If you're a vegan, nope, because there's egg. If you are a pescatarian, no, because then you eat fish. If you hate anchovies. People are always like, I'm a pescatarian, I don't eat anchovies. I'm like, you're a liar, because anchovies are fish and you just don't like anchovies. People will say anything to get out of eating an anchovy. They'll be like, oh, I don't eat tiny fish that come from this part of the world. Like, just say you don't like anchovies. It's okay. You're still cool. You still have great taste.
But you also probably like anchovies, too.
But you probably like them and you just don't know it. We interrupt this iconic David Cho birthday episode to give a special thank you to Oscar Mayer. Some may say it's the year of the chicken Caesar wrap, but for me personally, it's always going to be the year of the 100% all beef Frank. Oscar Mayer 100% all beef hot dogs use a fantastic blend of paprika and onion and garlic, and it's just like already very well seasoned. So from that moment forward, it's like all you really need is like your yellow mustard, your raw onion, your pickles, your peppers, and it's frankly hot dog bliss. Yeah, it's a really good hot dog, and it's 100% all beef, and I love that. So thank you, Oscar Mayer. Now back to the scintillating conclusion of chicken Caesar wrap. So I'll start with 2 egg yolks. You could use any mustard you like. I like to add it at the beginning, just like when you're making an aioli or a mayonnaise. Mustard has emulsification properties, making your dressing making experience so much better, which is why it's often found in many vinaigrettes, even if there are no egg yolks present. This is just like a sort of fun little German mustard that I have, but any sort of Dijon will work. I like these anchovies a lot. They're from a company called Seatails, and word has it that these are the anchovies a lot of companies are using and putting their own label on them. So they're private labeling them, which is totally allowed and a fair thing to do. But the price is very different. These are a lot more affordable. But these are really beautiful anchovies. And people often ask, like, what do you look for in an anchovy? I think it's a really good sign that they are coming out whole and sort of meaty, meaning their texture is a bit more firm, meaning they've been cured the proper amount of time. They smell really delicious and like salty rather than fishy. And their color is like a really vibrant sort of pink color, which comes from processing them at the right time. So they're fresh when they get salted, they're salted the right amount of time, then they're preserved in oil when they're supposed to be, without like oxidization or like them sitting around too long. I'm gonna finely chop these and they're gonna go into my egg yolk and mustard mixture. If I had a mortar and pestle, this is a great time to use it, but this isn't the time for like the pre-made paste because it's really no telling like what shape the anchovies were in before they were processed. But yeah, I like bits of anchovy in my dressing. I wanna know that they're there. I'm not trying to hide the anchovy. Sounds like a terrible game.
ABC Tuesday, August 2nd, from the creators of The Amazing Race, the ultimate game of cat and mouse. Hide a jar of reasonably priced anchovies for 48 hours, and it's yours.
I like my Caesar dressing on the garlickier side and like the intense side, so I add a lot of anchovies and a lot of garlic. That said, romaine is a pretty bland leaf, and like the point and the joy of this dressing and why you like to eat it is because it's punchy and assertive in flavor. So if you're sensitive to raw garlic, start small, but I go for the full 2 cloves. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. This you should adjust as you go. It will change the color of your dressing, but it also is like surprisingly concentrated. A little bit goes a long way, and when you use it, like it has a pretty deep impact. So you don't, like start small. So that's about a half teaspoon. And then as always, salt and pepper sort of as you go. I'll start with a pretty good pinch of salt. The anchovies and the Worcestershire both have pretty high salt content, so you know, less salt than you would need for a typical dressing, but I'm just gonna start whisking in my oil. I'll start with canola and go with olive. And like with any emulsification, you wanna start really small, really slow. If you don't have a squeeze bottle with oil, which I just got this at a restaurant supply store, you could use something like a measuring cup with a spout to go lower and slower. I haven't added lemon juice yet because I like to make sure that I'm getting like a stable emulsification before I mess with the viscosity. A lot of people will say just do this in a food processor or a blender. You can, but I like doing things by hand because I like the texture that you get. You could ostensibly do this with just the egg yolk, oil, and lemon juice and then add the chunky ingredients later, but again, I'm just like not gonna bother with dirtying another thing. I think a bowl and a whisk are just great. And you can see we're getting thick, like mayonnaise style almost. But we're gonna thin that out with enough lemon juice to make it the right consistency for actually seasoning lettuce. And you'll notice that the color kind of changes pretty drastically when you add that liquid. And now it becomes like a thick, creamy, like beautiful golden salad dressing consistency. I'm gonna go a little bit more on this. And some black pepper. So it's like enough to coat the back of a spoon, or just enough to coat a spoon, Father. Really? Yum. So good. It's like garlicky, anchovy, punchy. It's not super lemony, it's just like tangy and acidic. With all these ingredients together in one sort of dressing, they will change a little bit over time. So if you are making this the day ahead, or even a few hours ahead, I would let it sit and then adjust again for either more acid in the form of lemon juice or salt, Worcestershire, pepper, whatever. But this, like all food, sort of changes. The garlic will definitely intensify, but everything will kind of like meld together a little bit more. So I actually think Caesar, while excellent as a tableside dish, the dressing sometimes can benefit from even like a 10 to 15 minute sit. Yum. Cool, what now?
Great question.
The breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are sort of extra credit. Not every Caesar salad has croutons. Not every Caesar salad should have croutons, wants croutons, whatever. I like them. I also really like the breadcrumbs. I was thinking in this context, are they necessary in a wrap? But then I thought that might be kind of cool, kind of like how people like to put potato chips in sandwiches, which is not something I do. I use panko. Panko's already on its way to tiny crouton status. Just avoid using those like tiny sand style Progresso breadcrumbs, which are good for some things, but I wouldn't say for this. I'm gonna melt the anchovies in the oil. The nice thing about anchovy in oil is that they will kind of just melt. I'll go more, I'll go 4. These are really nice. Once they're sort of dissolved for the most part, you can go ahead and add the anchovies. Or you can add the breadcrumbs. Haha. And you do want to season these with salt and pepper. Even though anchovies do have salt, it's not really enough to like season all the crumbs. And the best way to tell when they're done, they'll get golden brown. So it's pretty obvious. So these are gonna cool down a little bit. If you do wanna add garlic, I think a nice thing to do is adding like half a clove at the very, very end, either very, very finely chopped or grated.
The fine mince, miss.
Thank you, David. Only the best for our birthday boy. Today you're the eldest boy.
I'm the eldest boy.
And you can smell it already. It has like a garlicky, anchovy-y scent mixed with like bread. It's like very, very good toast. I often dream about eating this like cereal, and I've tried it, but it's like a bit too dry. It doesn't really work.
With milk or
No,
just
not with milk.
with
Just
like a
like, I
spoon?
mean like out with a spoon.
Would do.
You can. It's your birthday. So normally that would be it. I would take this lettuce, I would tear it by hand, I would put it in a bowl, I would dress it with the dressing, I would grate the Parmesan on top, I would season, I would put more pepper, I would go, yum, yum, so good. Then I would scatter it with breadcrumbs, and then I would serve it and I would eat it. It would be so delicious. Some would say, that's perfect.
Someone.
Some would say, why go further? Some might say, why would you take something so wonderful and perfect on its own and then like put it in a giant tortilla?
You know, some might say they want to wrap.
Some would say, why not wrap it? Okay, so to do that, obviously we need the chicken breast. If I'm being honest, this is a really good application for any leftover chicken you might have. That said, if you are starting from scratch, I would say boneless, skinless breasts or tenders or something like that is the way to go. You don't want the skin, you don't want the bones. I rarely ever say that, but this is definitely one of those times where like boneless, skinless breast is the ideal chicken for this. You could poach it, you could roast it, you could grill it. I'm just gonna sear it really quickly, sort of gently in a skillet with a little bit of neutral oil over like medium-ish heat to avoid having to put it in the oven, like turning it occasionally until it's brown-ish on both sides and definitely cooked through. Just know that you can do any chicken you want for this. Without the chicken, it is no longer a chicken Caesar wrap. I regret to inform you. So
Just a Caesar wrap.
it's just a Caesar wrap at that point. I'm seasoning this with salt and pepper. Just a small amount of neutral oil. Looks like a weird rabbit. Those chicken breasts will probably take around 8 to 10 minutes, if I'm guessing. Meanwhile, we'll prep the lettuce. Romaine, a head of romaine is a different size everywhere you go. Sometimes when you buy a head of romaine, you think, that's so small, and then you're like, oh, it's a heart of romaine, which is really just the interior, which also works. But this, I would say, is a very large head of romaine. I love her. It's big. But I'm gonna peel regardless. I like to peel the sort of outer leaves. The darker the color of romaine, the more bitter and green the flavor will be, which to me is fine. I would say that most traditional Caesar salads are made with just the hearts or like the lower third of the romaine. But I don't mind the darker, leafier parts in mine. But regardless, you kind of want to like trim that end. But you'll notice the deeper you get in here, the paler the leaves become, which is for something like this actually what we want. And I think the reason the heart is preferred for this is just because the dressing is sort of assertive and it is heavier both in texture, punchier in flavor, but the tops of the leaves are actually not that sturdy and they wilt a lot faster versus like this part of the leaf, which will stay crunchy and like hold up to acidity and salt much longer than the top part of the leaf, which will kind of like wilt. You can kind of see here, it's like starting to cook through. So cute. The baby leaf. Can you imagine? This grows up to be this. One day you'll be on so strong. I literally leave like the larger pieces like this that are already nice and shapely. I leave them whole, and then these I tear into bite-sized pieces. You want it like dramatic enough to be able to stand up in the bowl, but not so dramatic that it becomes challenging to eat. Another thing that I like to do for something like this is to cut them in half into like long, thin, sort of dramatic pieces. I do like wedges this way, I like my Caesars this way. All right, our chicken is cooked through. It's delicious, it's golden brown. I'm gonna let it cool down on this cutting board so that it becomes, wow, so quiet.
It was so loud.
That was so wild. So that it becomes cool enough to handle for me to either slice, shred, whatever. I like shredded chicken for this, but something tells me David wants his like cubed or something.
Yeah, I want a cube.
All right, David, come on in. I'm gonna tear mine by hand as I want to do. David is gonna use a knife and a fork to cut it into strips. Here's what if you want to cut into strips, I would.
Come into strips for me.
This is like a commercial for
For
Quiznos or something.
Quiznos?
Online
The
entertainment.
nose? Have you ever been to a Quiznos?
Yeah, I used to work, the Jamba Juice I worked at had a Quiznos in the same park.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think that's why you hate sandwiches now?
No.
Oh.
I love Subway sandwiches.
Yeah, same. I love Subway sandwiches.
But I would probably shred. The
Yeah.
perfect rectangular strip of chicken breast is not for me.
It really isn't.
It really is not.
She's a chaotic fave. You are.
Thanks. I'm not that chaotic.
Are you kidding me?
So if I'm doing regular salad, I have my lettuce. I'll sort of like, you could do this in a bowl. I put it on a plate to make a point, and then I'll like kind of massage-ish. Okay, I'm gonna finish with some cheese. I always like to serve cheese on the side of my Caesar. Like, if people want more cheese, they should have more cheese. But I don't think it should be, it's not a cheese salad. I'm like a fan of serving this with like more crumbs, more cheese, more dressing, like at the table. And I think it's like pretty well dressed here. You know, some dressing will pool to the bottom.
That's gonna crush in a wrap.
I think it's pretty perfect as is.
But imagine if it was in wrapped in dough.
I don't want to wrap this in anything, frankly.
But we're going to.
No, I know. I'm just saying I don't want to.
That's
Also,
the
if you
anger.
wanted to take some of this chicken and scatter it over, then you have a chicken Caesar. You have my blessing. I love that idea. Here's the plot twist. Neither David nor I know how to make a wrap, but I think step one, season your lettuce. Give you your little chef's sweet green tongs.
You think I'm doing this?
I'm gonna have you toss the leaves while I dress it, yeah.
This is me emulating all of my friends at Sweet Green.
I think we take our tortilla. This is a basic big tortilla.
It's a big tortilla.
It's a flour tortilla.
Flour
It's
tortilla.
for burritos.
Or a wrap.
I think David's gonna want like sour cream or mayo as a base.
Yeah. You're gonna hate making it, but like it's gonna be good.
It's gonna taste good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that this perfectly dressed lettuce is going in the wrap. It's a crime against humanity. Crime. Crime. Go. A little bit more.
A little bit more? Well, we're still have chicken in there too. No?
Yeah, we're gonna. And then David's little chicky strips.
Send me to Guantanamo Bay for this wrap.
Do you think you want a little bit more chicken? I don't want it to be too tight.
Yeah, that's pretty good. No, I think it's like you're gonna compress. Like I feel like we're really gonna push.
So a few more pieces?
No, I think you're okay.
Okay,
honestly.
I think one
Let's
breast.
breadcrumb,
Cheese and then breadcrumb, I say.
cheese and then breadcrumb, and then hit an anchovy.
I'd say do anchovy with the chicken.
Let's do it.
This one's a big boy, so I'm gonna rip it in half. I think placement is important.
Yeah, distribution.
Yeah.
Because you can't pick your bite. The bite's already chosen for you by the wrap. I think you're gonna like eating this, honestly.
Well, I mean, all the things in it.
Are good.
This is like maybe gilding the lily, but
I don't think so. I think you need it.
I think you need like a little more lettuce on top.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I almost would have also maybe
Save some dressing.
or put the breadcrumbs with the lettuce from a distribution perspective maybe, to like cling. I mean, this is gonna be great.
We're gonna learn a lot here.
Yeah, it's our first wrap. I think we bottoms in. Yeah, bottoms in and then wrap it.
I think we leave the top exposed.
Oh, I thought we were gonna do cut it in half situation.
Kind of like the one you guys each had a hand and we're doing it together.
Like Ghost? This is too much, Roman. It's too much. It's never gonna work.
Okay, so lessons we've learned: don't overfill. Chop your lettuce smaller. Don't over mayo, and warm the tortilla.
I almost think it's like, so maybe we do lettuce as the base, chicken in the middle, so that when we like roll it, wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right.
A little bit of mayo.
I don't think we need it.
You don't think we need
We're
it?
so
Wow.
dressed on
Okay.
the thing.
Okay.
You want to do like a thin layer?
No. You might miss the mayo. I'm just gonna call
You
it
think
right
so?
now. Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, we have kind of enough for a third wrap, so.
Well, I'm not. Dan's gonna murder us if we have to make a
No,
third
Dan
wrap.
doesn't care.
Okay.
Yeah. Dan's loving this content gold.
And you want to do it the same way, like.
I think that, I liked that vessel, didn't you? You got this. You got this.
What makes this a wrap and not a burrito?
I don't know. I think it's just the fillings, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna cut this.
Okay, big birthday boy.
I'm the big birthday boy. I'm gonna cut this. I mean, say what you will. Like, it looks pretty f***ing good.
It doesn't look as good as the salad.
I'm gonna try this. It's f***ing good.
Of course it's good. You put good stuff in it, but it's still a wrap.
Eat it. You're gonna love it. It's good. I think mixed
It
bread.
tastes good.
Yeah,
It's like the perfect bite of the salad in each bite
it's really good.
because you've made it so. It's its destiny is already in here.
Its destiny is already in here. You know. What a great birthday. Is this the best birthday ever? I don't know.
Wow, dark.
So we learned a lot about wraps today. We learned about a lot about ourselves.
And about like what our can'ts and won'ts be.
Also, sometimes you might think you don't like a wrap, but then you finish eating the whole thing over the sink.
Then you find yourself.
Just
You know what? It's also kind of like I think the breadcrumb. It's giving chicken cutlet because the breadcrumb and the chicken together, but the breadcrumbs stay crunchy. Caesar salad. Enjoy it as is in all its beautiful, simplistic, classic, iconic perfection. Make it a chicken Caesar if you like, or
if you're a real freak, make it a chicken Caesar wrap.
yeah. If you're a real birthday baby, then grab that large tortilla and get wrapping.
Why'd you hold up the tortilla?
Should we put your name on this and make it
No.
like a cake? Oh my god, we should.
No, we shouldn't do that. That's weird. Also, what are you gonna
Can we
write?
hold this and you can superimpose Happy Birthday, David?
Yeah, we can do that.
Dressing? Good.
Jam, good. Wrap, good. It's a Friends thing. You didn't get it. Unagi. We watch a lot of Friends.
I didn't know. You guys are doing lots of stuff without me, I guess. Cut it out.
That's a different show.
No, that's Friends.
Nope, that's Full House. Rude.